The wisdom of the chosen ones does not manifest in what is said, but in what is preserved in secret, kept in the depths of the being. For those who walk under the light of the divine mission, silence is not merely an act of concealment but a conscious choice to protect the invisible, the sacred that is not yet ready to be revealed. The chosen ones know that truth, like a seed, must be planted in the soil of divine time, where invisible growth occurs out of the world's sight. A premature revelation can be like fruit picked before its ripening, still bitter, incapable of nourishing those who receive it. The concept of kairos, the right and opportune time, is a cornerstone for the chosen ones. Kairos is more than a measure of chronological time. It is the perfect moment, when the universe conspires in harmony for the invisible to become visible, without ruptures or harm. And the chosen ones know that waiting is an art as deep as acting. Like Moses, who waited in the desert before freeing his people, or Buddha, who meditated under the Bodhi tree until the moment of enlightenment was ripe, the chosen ones must also await the divine signal. They recognize that forces are at work beyond their understanding, weaving destiny in patterns that human eyes cannot see. Therefore, in the silence of patience, they guard their truths, knowing that each revelation has its time marked in the stars. The chosen ones wait because they know that, at the right time, the world will be ready to receive what their hearts have already understood. Just as fire attracts moths, the chosen ones, those who shine with the light of the divine, inevitably attract the energies of the world around them. This is the silent burden they carry, being beacons of light in a world of shadows. But while they illuminate, they become vulnerable to the influences surrounding them, like a sponge absorbing subtle vibrations, invisible to common eyes. External energies can confuse, divert, and weaken unless the chosen one learns to discern and protect themselves. Not all energies are beneficial, and the chosen one must walk with wisdom, balancing their inner light without being lost in external storms. Spiritual protection is like an invisible shield, an armor forged in silence and introspection. Just as a garden needs fences to protect itself from destructive winds, the chosen one must raise defenses against forces that try to penetrate their spirit. Practical techniques for this protection vary, but all are anchored in rituals of inner connection. Meditation, where the mind quiets so the soul can speak. Prayer, like an invisible cloak of light that envelopes the being. And visualizations, where the chosen one sees themselves within a circle of fire or light, untouched by external energies. These practices are fundamental, for by protecting themselves, the chosen ones ensure their light continues to shine pure, without distortions caused by the world's impetuous winds. Just as the moon reflects the sun's light without being consumed by it, the chosen one must learn to reflect the divine without being affected by the mundane. The secret of spiritual protection lies in the wisdom of silence and the invisible strength of inner discipline. In the realm of silence, the chosen one finds the fertile soil where the deepest truths bloom. Silence is not an absence but a sacred presence, a space that welcomes the divine's whisper. In this apparent emptiness, where the world's distractions disappear, the chosen one hears the eternal voice that echoes within their soul. Silence is the inner temple, a sanctuary where reconnection with the invisible becomes possible. The chosen one understands that words are insufficient to translate the mysteries that inhabit the heart. They are tools of the visible world, limited by their nature. But in silence, where there is no need for explanations or forms, the divine can manifest freely, in the form of intuitions, visions, and revelations that could not emerge otherwise. Silence is the womb where wisdom gestates until the right moment to be born. Just as Jesus withdrew to the desert or mountains to pray and reconnect with the divine source, the chosen one also needs this space of solitude, where the world's noise ceases. It is in silence that they hear not only the universe but also themselves, recognizing the unity that connects them to all that exists. Here there is no fear, no haste. Silence is the guardian of hidden truth, and those who respect it find in it a force beyond words, a spiritual compass guiding them through the shadows of doubt and chaos. In silence, the chosen one finds not only rest but also renewal. It is the necessary pause for the spirit to realign with the cosmos rhythm. Thus, silence becomes the inner garden, where the seeds of purpose bloom, watered by invisible wisdom that only the chosen ones can reach. Nature, in its quietude and mystery, reveals the secrets of the chosen one's spiritual journey. Just as a tree casts its roots into the deep, dark soil, far from the world's eyes, the chosen ones must also cultivate their truths in secret, in the silence of the invisible. Every seed planted in the earth undergoes an invisible process of transformation before emerging into the light. So too is the path of the chosen ones. Nature teaches us that what is sacred often grows away from human sight, protected by the darkness that nurtures and strengthens. The darkness of the soil is not an absence of light but a cradle of potential, where the chosen one nourishes their connection to the divine before being ready to emerge. Spiritual growth follows the same pattern. First invisible, internal, rooted in the depths of the being, and then, at the right time, blooming for the world. The cycles of nature also speak of the internal transformation process. Just as the seasons succeed one another, the chosen one goes through phases of retreat, preparation, and manifestation. In autumn, the leaves fall, symbolizing the release of the old so that the new can be born. In winter, everything seems quiet, but life is gestating beneath the surface. In spring, flowers bloom, and in summer, fruits ripen. Each phase is essential and none can be rushed. The chosen one must honor the rhythms of nature and the spirit, knowing that there is a time to grow in the shadows and a time to shine in the sunlight. Just as a tree does not force its growth but follows the flow of creation, the chosen ones learn to trust the process, knowing that what is being formed in secret will one day serve a higher purpose. The metaphor of a tree's roots is one of the most profound spiritual lessons. The deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. So it is with the path of the chosen ones, who in their silence, in the hidden, grow strong and wise, until the right moment to reveal their mission to the world. In the age we live in, marked by the constant pursuit of visibility and approval, the chosen one faces a deep dilemma. Overexposure is a subtle poison that corrupts the purity of the spiritual mission. The modern world pressures us to reveal everything, to expose every thought and action as if the value of existence depended on external validation. But the chosen one knows that their strength lies in what is invisible, protected from prying eyes. The most powerful secrets cannot be shared indiscriminately. They require maturation in silence and divine time, and their revelation must be carefully discerned. The modern tendency to seek applause, likes, and followers is a trap that can divert the chosen one from their true mission. The need to be seen can destroy what is still being formed within, just as excessive sunlight can wilt a flower that is not yet ready to bloom. In the digital age, where everything is exposed, the chosen ones find power in what is not shown. The invisible carries far more force than what is exposed to the public eye. Instead of following the current of incessant display, the chosen ones opt for strategic retreat, preserving the essence of their mission. The strength of mystery lies in the protection of the sacred, and those who understand this keep their truths until the right moment comes. For the chosen ones, social media and technology must be tools, not masters. Consciousness must guide the use of these platforms, allowing their presence to be measured, discreet, and spiritualized. True impact is not in the number of views but in the depth of the message that sometimes needs to remain hidden until it finds the right heart to receive it. In this world of excess, the chosen one finds peace in reservation, in the wisdom of protecting their light from the storms of superficiality. Spiritual power does not seek the stage but manifests in what is built in silence. Since the dawn of humanity, the great mysteries of the Spirit have been guarded by those prepared to understand them. Mystery schools, secret orders, and spiritual lineages have cultivated and preserved sacred knowledge, far from the eyes and ears that were not yet ready to receive. Today's chosen ones are part of this spiritual lineage that understands that wisdom is not a good to be distributed indiscriminately. Just as in the ancient mystery schools of Egypt, where initiates were trained in silence and discretion, the chosen ones follow a subtle code. Only the prepared can receive the keys to spiritual secrets. The deepest truths cannot be handed to everyone, for in unprepared hands, knowledge can be distorted, misunderstood, or even used for destructive purposes. The power of wisdom lies in its conscious and responsible application. These secret teachings transcend cultures and times, manifesting in different forms. In Jewish Kabbalah, for example, the study of mystical truths was reserved for those who had reached spiritual maturity. In the teachings of the Essenes, a community that lived on the fringes of society, away from the world's influences, silence and discretion were essential parts of their practice. These traditions understood that wisdom is like a flame. In the wrong hands it can burn, but in prepared hands, it illuminates the path. Therefore, the chosen ones follow in the footsteps of these ancient lineages, knowing that not everything should be revealed. The power of spiritual secrecy lies in discernment. knowing the right time to teach and, more importantly, when to remain silent. Silence is not a denial but an act of protection. Truths are like seeds that need fertile soil to germinate, and only those with prepared hearts can receive these sacred seeds. The chosen ones guard this ancestral knowledge, knowing that true power does not lie in how many know the truth but in the depth with which it is understood by those who receive it. Just like the ancient guardians of wisdom, today's chosen ones continue this silent tradition, delivering the sacred only to those who prove themselves ready to receive it. The chosen ones, despite their spiritual strength, also carry a deep vulnerability. However, this vulnerability is not a sign of weakness but of wisdom. Conscious vulnerability is the key to discerning when and with whom to share the most sensitive parts of the self, knowing that in safe and trusting environments, this fragility can transform into power. The spiritual journey of the chosen ones is not a path of invincibility but of deep surrender to the divine process. Just as a warrior knows their weaknesses but reveals them only to trusted allies, the chosen ones learn to protect their most delicate areas from indiscriminate eyes. Vulnerability, when shared in the right circle, strengthens, but when exposed carelessly, it can become a point of attack. Conscious vulnerability is, therefore, an act of spiritual discernment. The chosen one should not close themselves off completely from the world but rather open up with wisdom, revealing their vulnerabilities in sacred spaces where trust and understanding are mutual. Like the act of opening a hidden treasure, vulnerability should be exposed only to those who understand the value of what they are receiving. Spiritual figures such as Jesus also demonstrated this conscious vulnerability. In his last night with the disciples, he showed himself in prayer, vulnerable, asking for strength to fulfill his destiny. He did not hide his anguish from those close to him, but at the same time, he did not reveal this fragility to those outside the circle of trust. Here lies the key. The chosen ones must learn to share their vulnerability in protected environments, knowing that this does not weaken them but connects them deeply with their fellow beings. The power of vulnerability lies in balance. Knowing when to open the heart and when to keep silent is one of the greatest secrets of the chosen ones. In times where exposure is irresponsibly encouraged, conscious vulnerability becomes a sacred art, where sharing is guided by wisdom and spiritual intuition. The chosen one understands that their weaknesses, when well guarded and revealed at the right moment, can become their greatest points of connection and healing. The secret is not in avoiding vulnerability but in choosing with precision the moment and the people to share it with. Although the chosen ones walk with silent and often solitary steps, they are not alone. There is an invisible fabric, a spiritual network that connects them deeply and mysteriously. The collective of the chosen ones is like an underground current, moving in secret, weaving patterns of light in the world's darkness. Even separated by distance, borders, and time, the chosen ones are united in a greater purpose, working for humanity's good without the world even noticing their presence. They do not need physical contact or recognition by human eyes, for their union happens on another plane, in the spiritual space where souls meet. This collective operates in silence, knowing that their power lies in the invisible, in the unspoken, in the work that often occurs without anyone seeing. This is the nature of sacred service, making great changes in the world without seeking credit or recognition. The chosen ones share a common mission, but each one plays their individual role, like tuned instruments in a great spiritual symphony. They are warriors of light, healers, and sages, scattered around the world, discreetly working to elevate humanity's consciousness. The impact of their efforts is felt, but rarely seen, for true transformation first occurs at the invisible level, in the depths of the soul, before manifesting in the physical realm. The strength of the collective lies precisely in its invisibility. In the absence of fanfare or recognition, they find the freedom to work more deeply and effectively. It is not necessary for the world to see or understand what they are doing. What matters is that they are aligned with their mission and the divine flow guiding them. Like stars in the night sky, each chosen one shines in their own corner of the universe, contributing to the whole. And though the world may not perceive their actions, the collective impact of their efforts resonates through time. They are the guardians of the invisible, the bearers of ancient knowledge that continues to influence humanity's destiny. The chosen one is never truly alone, for they are part of an eternal spiritual brotherhood, united by love, light, and silent service. They operate together, even in different worlds, guided by the same invisible hand that leads them forward toward the fulfillment of their destiny. The chosen ones carry with them an immense responsibility, the discernment of when to reveal and when to conceal the spiritual knowledge they possess. The ethics of spiritual secrecy is a fine line they must walk with wisdom. What they know and experience in the silence of their connection with the divine does not belong to the world indiscriminately. Spiritual knowledge, like a sacred flame, can illuminate the path of many, but it can also burn those unprepared to receive it. The ancient mysteries teach that wisdom is a burden, for it brings the necessity of judging not only what is true but also the right moment and manner to share that truth. Secrecy is a form of protection, not selfish concealment but protection for the knowledge, for those not yet ready to receive it, and for the spiritual path itself. An example of this ethical dilemma can be found in the life of Jesus, who spoke in parables to the crowds, offering wisdom in veiled ways so that only those with ears to hear could understand. Similarly, Socrates, the philosopher, used the dialectic method to lead his students to knowledge without handing them ready-made answers. He knew that true knowledge could only be revealed to those who were ready to receive it, after a process of maturation. The chosen ones face similar dilemmas. When their intuition reveals deep truths to them, the question arises, should I share this? Will this knowledge benefit or harm the one receiving it? Spiritual power is not a toy in the hands of the imprudent, and the chosen ones know that what is spoken cannot be unsaid. There are times when the truth must be kept, protected, until its recipient is ready to receive it. The ethics of spiritual secrecy is also an exercise in humility. The chosen ones do not seek recognition for the depth of what they know. The ego can easily interfere, pushing for revelation so that others may see them as enlightened or wise. However, the true sage knows that wisdom is not measured by how much they reveal but by the ability to keep in secret that which should not yet be shared. Thus, the chosen one learns to walk lightly in the world, protecting the sacred and revealing only what is necessary at the opportune moment. As a guardian of the divine flame, they must know when their light can guide and when it should remain hidden so that the Spirit's glow continues to grow in the darkness of secrecy. For the chosen ones, the spiritual path is a calling that transcends the human desire for validation. True spiritual power does not reside in public acclaim but in the depth of connection with the divine and the mission they carry in silence. Worldly recognition can be a trap that diverts the chosen one from their purpose, transforming their sacred quest into a quest for approval. The chosen ones understand that the impact of their actions is not measured by the eyes that see them but by the invisible reach they have in souls and spiritual realms. Recognition is fleeting, an illusion that feeds the ego but weakens the spirit. This is why detachment from recognition is an essential virtue on the path of the chosen ones. They serve something greater than themselves, and that something does not require applause, fame, or notoriety. There are many examples of spiritual figures who, despite their immense wisdom and power, chose anonymity as their greatest strength. Lao Tzu, the legendary Chinese sage, is said to have retreated into anonymity, leaving only a small trail of teachings that would influence generations. Rumi, the Sufi poet and mystic, wrote with spiritual depth that touched millions, yet lived in a retreat that was an integral part of his journey. Detachment from recognition is also an act of freedom. The chosen ones do not need the world's approval to follow their mission. Their inner compass is guided by the voice of the Spirit, not the external echoes of validation. They know that their true worth cannot be measured by human metrics, for their impact is felt in the invisible, in the hearts and souls they touch in ways that will often never be seen or recognized. Detaching from recognition is ultimately an exercise in trust. Trust in the divine mission, trust in sacred timing, and trust in the spiritual impact that is always greater than immediate recognition can reveal. The chosen one does not seek earthly rewards, for they have already found their reward in the silent path of deep connection with the sacred. The chosen ones walk with the certainty that their true work does not need applause, for their reward does not belong to this world but to the eternal. Thus, they serve the invisible with humility and gratitude, letting the work of their souls speak louder than any word or human recognition. The chosen ones, despite their deep connection to the divine, walk between the spiritual and the mundane. They are not isolated from the responsibilities and challenges of daily life, but are masters in balancing these two spheres. The true wisdom of the chosen ones lies in the ability to live in the physical world while nurturing their spiritual missions, maintaining harmony between the two realms without allowing one to overshadow the other. The mundane life, with its demands and distractions, may seem at odds with the spiritual quest. However, the chosen ones understand that the divine permeates all things. Every act in daily life can be transformed into a spiritual act when done with intention and presence. Just as a Zen master finds enlightenment in the simple act of sweeping the floor, the chosen one finds divine purpose in every moment of life, whether grand or small. This integration is one of the greatest spiritual challenges, as the physical world is filled with traps that can divert the chosen one from their path. The pursuit of material things, external security, or fleeting pleasures can weaken the connection to the sacred. However, the true chosen one learns to be invisible to the world, passing unnoticed as an ordinary person, while within them they cultivate a sacred space, an eternal fire that keeps them aligned with their higher purpose. The chosen ones do not need to withdraw from the world but must learn to live in it without being dominated by its illusions. They are like fish swimming in an ocean of distractions, but their soul breathes the pure air of the divine. Spiritual life is their anchor, and daily practices of meditation, prayer, or internal silence keep them connected to the source, even when facing the outer world's challenges. For the chosen one, daily life becomes a spiritual training ground. Every interaction, every choice, every experience offers an opportunity for growth and learning. Work, relationships, and worldly responsibilities become reflections of their spiritual practice, a chance to manifest the divine in their actions. Thus, they become bridges between the two worlds, walking with grace and purpose in both, without allowing one to negate the other. The chosen ones are those who walk invisible to the world's eyes but deeply connected to the sacred in every step. They integrate the spiritual and the mundane, knowing that there is no separation between the divine and daily life, only different ways of expressing the same mystery. The secrets of the chosen ones are not only in what they do but, above all, in what they choose not to reveal. The power of silence and the wisdom of guarding the invisible are the keys that open the doors to their spiritual mission. As guardians of ancient wisdom, they understand that not everything should be exposed to the world. Some truths need to be protected until the right moment to bloom. In silence they find strength. In the hidden they cultivate their deepest truths. And on their invisible path, they leave an eternal mark on the world. The chosen one is one who walks with humility, knowing that their true reward does not come from external recognition but from the inner satisfaction of being in full harmony with their divine mission. Just as a tree's roots grow in the dark before supporting the trunk that rises to the sky, the chosen ones learn to nourish their roots in silence, trusting that what grows in the invisible will one day bear fruit for the world. They live between the spiritual and the mundane, integrating the sacred into every aspect of their lives, without ever being lost in the distractions that surround them. The power of the chosen one lies both in their actions and in their omissions. In what they do, yes, but also in what they choose to preserve in secret. Their silence is not an absence but a sacred presence, a space where the divine can operate without interference. And thus, they shape the world around them with their invisible actions, their silent choices, and the depth of their connection to the eternal. May we all learn from the secrets of the chosen ones. May we recognize the value of silence in our own lives and understand that power is not only in what we show the world but also in what we choose to guard. For mystery is one of the most powerful expressions of the divine. If you felt the depth of this message, like this video and subscribe to the channel to be part of this journey of self-discovery and spiritual expansion. Share your reflections in the comments below and help strengthen this community of chosen ones, united in spirit and purpose.